So today, my first adventure in a very, very long time. I am going solo on the telecabin up to the Aiguille du Midi here in Chamonix, Mont Blanc. It's something I've wanted to do for such a long time after being here on a number of visits. It's absolutely stunning here. Cable car takes you all the way, just see it there to the peak where there's a viewing platform and a cafe. Really looking forward to it. Got about 30 minutes until boarding, so just going to have a wander and take in some of these amazing views. So it's cost me €81 today to take a ride up to the Aiguille du Midi. Apologies for my pronunciation there. It works on dynamic pricing, so if you book a bit further in advance you will get a relatively cheaper fare. I've left it a little bit too late, but never mind. As you can see here, just sat waiting in this lovely square, watching the paragliders way up in the sky. About 30 minutes before I board. Works on a really efficient boarding system here, so just taking in my surroundings and having a French beer, as you do in France. So it's incredibly hot here just now. It's 32 degrees. We're at about 1,000 meters in altitude, so you can certainly feel that intensity of the heat. Once we go up to the top of the Aiguille du Midi at 3,842 meters, the temperature can actually drop to about 3 degrees, so it is very advisable to bring some warm clothing, some sensible footwear as well for when you do get to the top. So yeah, don't get caught out. I've only got an overshirt with me, so we'll see if that is enough for today. The trip takes about 15 minutes. There is a stop kind of at the halfway point where you can get off there and there's a cafe and a bar. I'm going to continue all the way to the top. The views are going to be absolutely stunning today. The haze is really burning off from this morning. Once at the top, there's then a lift up to a viewing platform so you can get right on top of the Aiguille du Midi. The views of Mont Blanc are meant to be some of the best. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing the mountain from way up high. So nearly time for boarding, just a little bit of time just to look at some of the information here on these information panels just before we get in the queue. So I'm on my own. I know normally we're Hayley doing this, but yeah, it's a bit strange actually doing this on my own. Hayley would absolutely love this. Tallest cable car in France, going to take us all the way up to 3,842 meters. Apparently you can step into the void as well. Not sure actually if that's open today. There was a bit of conflicting information on the website, but we'll see. Hopefully it is. If it isn't, just another excuse to come back. A little bit of construction work going on actually at the station, which might make hearing my dulcet tones a little bit more difficult. Here's the cafe where I've just had, it's actually a Dutch beer, not a French beer. And there's Mont Blanc there, way up in the distance, the highest mountain in Europe outside the Caucasus. Also, just a couple of points with this cable car. Due to the extreme nature of it, it's not recommended for children under 3 years, and also, unlike many of the cable cars in the Mont Blanc Valley, dogs are not permitted either, which is why I'm going solo. Mark is back at the chalet with our 2 dogs, waiting patiently in the sunshine. He's happy to sit this one out. It's not his thing really, especially this one with it being so extreme. So yeah, I think it's time to get into the queue. I'm boarding number 48, so we're on 46 at the minute, and I'm taking the 12 PM cable car up to the top. So just a quick look at the station before we go in. One of the old cable cars. That's what I love about France, and especially this area in particular. is that they really do celebrate the history of the cable car facilities. This is where we'll be boarding shortly. Also seems that they have a 4D cinema as well, which I think is brilliant for people who maybe have some accessibility issues or people who just don't want to do the actual cable car experience itself. So yeah, doesn't look like it's actually might be open, but yeah, it's all good to see that. I think it's time to make my way into the queue. So we're at the midpoint now. That was absolutely incredible, that first section. Now change onto a different cable car. This time it's a cable car with no stanchions at all. So it's just one vertical lift all the way up right to the top of the Aiguille du Midi. Amazing view of Mont Blanc up here. Cannot wait to get up there, and it is a little bit cooler, well, quite a lot cooler actually, but it's going to be even colder right up at the summit. So now right at the top there, absolutely incredible. Going through this cave, which I think leads to the lift, which can take you right up to the top. So there we go, right at the top. Amazing view, Mont Blanc. There's not much more for me to say really, it's just, I think, so important just to enjoy these views, so I'm not going to say too much else really. It's incredible experience. So another attraction here up at the summit is where you can actually step into the void, it's called. It's an hour wait, so I'm not going to bother today. I think I'll cut a little bit of footage of it round the corner, where you step into a perspex box and there's nothing below you. So yeah, certainly something to try if you want to, but I'm going to give it a miss. And get in the queue to get back down. It is absolutely amazing. So I've just passed through something called the ice tube, which it is what it says. It's a tube through the ice, which is pretty stunning, but it is slippery and I am known to be a little bit clumsy. So yeah, if you do decide to come up here, just be a little bit careful because it is really slippery through the ice tube. So just before I go back down the lift to Chamonix, I was going to attempt these stairs up here to the restaurant. It's a bit of a sheer drop down below. I know it looks fairly safe, but certainly since my accident I'm a lot more wary about climbing stairs, and it's just not worth the risk. I got up to this point here and decided to come back down. Yeah, not worth the risk I don't think, but yeah, absolutely stunning. where I started at the cafe. That experience was absolutely incredible. I don't think, well, I've certainly never ever done anything like that. Everything about it, the views, the ride up there, which you'll see is quite bouncy, all the activities that are available at the top, and just the breathtaking views of Mont Blanc, as well as all of the other mountains around here, is absolutely outstanding. It's not a cheap experience at €83. As I said before, you can get it cheaper, but for me it is a once in a lifetime experience, so more than happy to pay that. Once you are at the top, there's a number of different activities you can do. There is an exhibition, there's the ice tunnel, which I went through, nearly had a bit of a mishap, and you can also climb those steps up to the top terrace as well, which I didn't bother with. But the views for me were more than enough. A few things to point out, I guess. It can get really busy on those cable cars, so it can get a bit claustrophobic. I would always say, if you can, when you're going up, head for a space on the right hand side, and when you're going down, head for a space on the left, and that way you get the best views of Mont Blanc, if that's your thing. It is rocky when you go over those stanchions on that first cable car. As you might hear from some of that footage, people were quite taken unawares with that. It was quite amusing. I actually found it really thrilling, so that was really good. And then the top cable car itself is just, it's really smooth, and yeah, you get up there in no time really. So on a personal note, this is obviously my first video for a long time after my forced hiatus. I am really sad to be not doing this with Hayley, but we're going to make up for that in the summer as well. But it just feels for me really good to finally be back out here and experiencing different things. So thank you very much for watching, and leave you some more views of beautiful Chamonix.